second grade families, I'm here with our bubble art activity. It came home in your learning packet, and I am going to take a minute and go over it step by step with you as a how-to if you want to follow along and figure out how we can make this fun bubble art project. The summer sun is coming out, and we have lots of times where we can go outside and see bubbles in action. So I hope that you use that bubble recipe on the back, made yourself some bubbles, and you can kind of see how the beautiful sunlight will create that look just like on the example here of that kind of rainbow effect that happens when you have bubbles. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. There's basically 3 steps to this art project. It's a nice, easy one, and it doesn't take a lot of materials. The black paper came with you in your learning packet, and then I have oil pastels, which are a special kind of crayon, but you could also just use regular Crayola crayons and they would work just as good. I also have some household things. This was a yogurt container, actually the yogurt that came from our school lunch, and this is the lid of one of my candles. So just some items around our house that are different sizes of circles. And if you can't find some circular things around your house, you could just freehand draw your circles and they turn out just as beautiful as well. All right, and my oil pastels have every color of the rainbow, but the biggest and most important one I'm going to use first is the white oil pastel. And so I have my white oil pastel, and then I have my black paper, and then I'm going to have 3 or 4 other colors of my choice when I get started doing the project. So I'm going to go ahead and move my direction sheet first, and then I just have my black paper in front of me, and then I have my circle items. And you're going to make the different sizes of bubbles. And so to do that, I'm going to start right here, and I'm just going to take and I'm going to trace along the outside. And of course, when you're tracing, sometimes it's helpful. I'm doing it by myself, but if you have a grown-up or a brother or sister, someone could hold the item and then you could trace around it. And then when you move it, there you go, you have a circle. And you could do another one, a little bit over, move my other one out of the way. And those are 2 of the same size, and then I might want to put a smaller one right here. And I'm just filling up the space. You could overlap if you wanted to. Kind of gives it a cool effect if you overlap. And then of course, if you didn't use your template totally perfect, you could kind of go like that. And then I'm just going to freehand draw some circles too. So you're going to use your paper, and I could also take my template and kind of go off the page a little bit and do like a half bubble like that. So it kind of goes off the page. And then maybe I want to do that same thing up here in the corner. That gives it kind of that look as if it was going off the paper. And then of course, like I said, you're going to want to have some that are just little. If I look back again on my direction sheet, that is number 1, tracing the different circles with a white crayon. Then with white, I'm also going to add a few lines or dots, and that creates the illusion of like shine, the light coming through on the bubbles. And if you look at the finished example, you can see right here is the idea of those shine bubbles. Kind of just gives the circles a little bit of depth. Maybe a little dot here. Kind of on both sides. You're going to want to put those little shine bubbles, is what we call them. And that just gives our bubbles a little bit of, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. It kind of just makes them pop, I guess. It kind of makes it give that illusion that it's the sun is shining on them. And then now as I'm looking at my bubble art, I'm kind of saying, oh, I have some open space. I might want to leave it blank, or maybe I want to fill it in with another bubble. You are the artist. You get to decide what works for you. And I do know one of my second grade art rules, if you were in my class, you definitely have heard me say this at least 10 or 15, 20 times. Keep your art simple. That always makes it turn out the best way you want it to do it. Now, the next step, and this is where you get to have that creative art side of your heart that comes outside. You're going to choose some colors, some rainbow colors, and you're just going to, here we go, look at that example again. I'm going to zoom in a little close. You're going to choose some colors, and you're going to draw various sizes of lines all along the edges. And you could choose, I'm going to choose green, I'm going to choose orange, maybe this beautiful blue, and I'm even going to throw in some red. you know, 2 or 3, 4 colors, doesn't really matter. And I'm going to just draw some beautiful lines of how the light would maybe hit those bubbles. Gives that appearance of kind of a rainbow effect on your bubbles. And it turns out looking really cool. When it's done, you'll have this beautiful rainbow look to your art. And add blue to this one. And you can stick with all the same colors in every bubble. Or if you want, you can do a combination of some of your colors. Basically what you're doing is just giving that illusion that the light is coming in from the sun on your bubbles. And you're just giving it a little bit of depth. I'm switching. Don't overthink it. I just kind of like let my creativity kind of take off. You can do it on one side of the bubble like I did here, or you can do it on both sides of the bubble like I did on this one. You're the artist. You get to decide. Okay. And there you have it. You are going to end up with a beautiful picture of some bubbles. And if your family also wants to do it with you, you could take different bubble papers and put them together for a very fun bubble art. You might also notice that once you look at your creation, here's mine, I might want to bring back my white crayon and just do a little bit of maybe popped, or the illusion of some popped bubbles with kind of a little bit of dot work. And it just gives your bubbles kind of some life and some fun. All right, I hope you're enjoying the start of our summer, and I would love to see a picture of your bubble art projects if you get one done too. Have fun creating.